Today we're gonna do another Millionaires Reacts episode. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. We are reacting to a bunch of these money stories. They've been really wild, and we've been getting a lot of comments on Instagram, so it's been fun reading what you guys have to say, seeing the debates in the comments and things like that. So we're gonna introduce 3 new stories here today. Am I the asshole for lending my kids money for a down payment? I'm not rich. I still have to work very hard for my money. That being said, I do earn over $200,000 in an average year.
Nice.
Congrats. My kids are out of university and working, but are having trouble purchasing houses. Even with government programs and such, the housing market is crazy. I have substantial savings and I tend to blow my money on random toys I want. Like I said, I work hard, and on my time off, if I feel like restoring old cars for fun, I will. My kids approached me about help getting a house. If they can go into a purchase with 25% down, they can save on fees and get a better rate. I thought about it and agreed to lend them the money in return for equity in the purchase. For example, if my daughter buys an $800,000 house and I lend her $200,000, then I own 1/4 of the house. If she sells it for $1 million, then I would get $250,000 back, since I would own 1/4 of the equity. She said I was being ridiculous and that I was an asshole for not just giving her the money, or at least having it be an interest-free loan. My son took me up on that offer and bought himself a moderate home. Between a first-time home buyers program, my investment, and his partner's savings, we managed to buy a house for them with almost a 50% down payment. My daughter is still calling me an asshole for taking advantage of her brother and is just going to buy a condo she can afford on her own. Am I the asshole?
This is a very interesting one because, from the surface of it, it seems like instead of like helping his kids out, it's more like an investment decision. I'm gonna help you buy this home, but I need some profit out of it as well. Now, is that like a bad thing? I don't know. Like, it's not the ideal situation, but also they wouldn't have been able to buy this home without his help anyway. And he's not asking it as like a loan, like you have to pay me back with interest. He's asking more of an equity stake. So, he gets money if the property grows in value, and they're not like saddled with more debt.
It's kind of hard because I feel like it kind of depends on the family's dynamics. There are some parents who have that idea of you're a grown person and
you need to take care of yourself, be self-sufficient.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that, right? But if it were me, I would want to help out my kids and I would want to go, okay, interest-free loan. I probably wouldn't just like give them money. I would want them to still work for it, pay me back, or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like for this one, I would say he's not the asshole because it is his money. He doesn't have to let them have it if they don't want it, right? It's not he's forcing them to do whatever. And if anything, maybe his daughter is the one who's feeling a bit more entitled of saying, hey, you have money, you owe it to me to be able to buy this house. I mean, if anything, for me, I feel like it's a good deal. Like, he can help them buy a house and put in all the money for the down payment, and then if there's any profit, he just gets 1/4 of the equity, but then after paying off the bank loan, they basically get money for free. I mean, I understand that it's not the ideal situation where some parents would just give them the money, but at least he's giving them the opportunity. Like, okay, I do have some funds, I can help you buy a house, you can live in it, and then when you sell the home, I get back what I put in plus some profit, and we all kind of share in this profit.
Yeah.
It's his money. They can do whatever they want with it.
Sure. I think maybe I'm like in the middle ground. I wouldn't be like, this is the only solution for you, and if you can't take it, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna help you. That's the part that bothers me a little bit here, because I think you can find some type of compromise that works for both of them. But like you mentioned, it is actually not a bad deal. So I don't know. Well, it is weird.
I would say, like, think about this, okay? Like, as an asshole, I don't think they're an asshole. But it's not the ideal situation. Like, I don't think we would do this for our kids.
Yeah.
But think about this. What if a friend asks us for this? A friend asks, hey, can you help me buy a house? Would I just give my friend an interest-free loan? Probably not. I probably want something out of it.
True.
Right.
Okay.
So, asshole? I don't think so.
Okay, maybe not the asshole. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know.
Yeah. All right, next one. Am I the asshole for getting mad at my wife for constantly taking money out of her joint account to give to her parents? All right, this has been going on for the past couple years, and only now that I realize the damage is done to our finances. My wife and I are both well off, but our incomes are vastly different. Her and I agreed to a joint account as she pays the bills because I tend to forget when things are due. She's a receptionist making 40,000 Canadian dollars, a little overtime, and I'm an oil field worker. Last year, I made 190,000 Canadian with my overtime. Recently, I wanted to purchase a boat because it's something I've always wanted. So I went to a financial planner to see what's the most reasonable way to approach this. The planner had also gone over our finances. She had mentioned the constant withdrawal of money, usually in the range of $500 to $1,000. After the appointment, I went home and approached her about it and asked. She basically told me that her parents aren't good with the money, so they're asking her for money to pay for bills and help pay off their credit cards. So I went through and added the transactions together to see how much money she's given them. Over the last 3 years, she's given her parents almost $50,000. I was livid, and I approached her and basically said that her parents' financial issues aren't our problem and that she shouldn't be giving them so much money constantly, as they'll never learn self-sufficiency. She said it's not my money, our money. In return, I said that if I wasn't working, would you still be giving your parents so much money? Which she told me no. Afterwards, she called me an asshole and I'm getting worked up over nothing, and went and spent the night at her friend's house. Was I the asshole for getting worked up about this?
All right, in my opinion, I don't think that he's being the asshole. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think he's being the asshole based on this conversation. However, that being said, I think it is good to give your parents some support if they actually need it. I think it is a nice thing to do to help support your parents, especially if they're retired and they're not making an income. You can give them a few $100s to help them maintain their lifestyles. In this current situation though, it seems like she is, I guess, nurturing a bad habit. Right? Because the parents know that she's going to keep giving them money, maybe they can continue being poor with their finances. But the worst part is she's doing it without telling the partner. Right? She's doing it without telling her husband that she's using the joint funds to pay for the parents.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think people call it financial infidelity. When there's secrecy in the marriage, that's a problem. Like, you have to communicate whatever's going on. If he wasn't okay with this, why would she be taking this money out without letting him know? I think that is the problem here. His comment about we shouldn't give him money at all, they need to be self-sufficient, I think it's a good thing to help out, but that should be something that is agreed upon with your partner. Like, maybe if he's not okay with this, the number should be lower or something like that, so that they can come to a number that they'd be happy with giving to their parents. Or maybe it's a one-time thing rather than a monthly withdrawal. It has to be something they're both comfortable with, or else it's just not gonna work. I think that's where a lot of marriages have problems, is if you don't communicate these things and find some type of compromise that they're both happy with.
I agree. Nothing much to be said after this.
Yeah, so conclusion, not the asshole.
Not the asshole here.
All right, here's the last one. Am I the asshole for taking the money my grandparents saved for college and agreeing with them that my half-sister isn't their grandkid? I will try to keep this short. I am 18, and when I was around 10, my mom cheated on my father and got pregnant. This resulted in my half-sister, Kathy. Soon after, my parents cut my grandparents out of our life. My parents stayed together. I turned 18 3 months ago, and my grandparents reached out. They informed me over lunch that when Kathy was born, they made it clear they do not see her as a grandkid, that she is the product of my mom cheating on her son. They refused to make a college fund for her, and my parents cut them out due to it. They informed me that I have a college fund from them, and I decided to take it. I came home and kept it to myself. I've been reconnecting with them, and it came to a head today. My parents learned who I was hanging out with. This resulted in an argument for taking the money when they shunned Kathy. I told them they were right to not consider her a grandkid, and I said screw them for cutting them out of my life. They haven't talked to me since, and I'm doubting myself. Since it was asked multiple times, Kathy's bio dad has partial custody. My dad never adopted her, which according to some Redditors means that bio dad has to give up his rights.
So I guess it's interesting that the parents stay together. You know, I guess good for them for working things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the grandparents are able to do whatever they want with their money.
Yeah.
If they want to support one child and not another child, that's up to them. Mm-hmm. And the parents cutting their grandparents out of their kids' lives is also up to them too. I think that's fair. And then for the grandson to now want to reconnect with his grandparents and accept money that they're giving him, that's also not an asshole move. It's like, you know, hey, you made that money for me. I love you. You love me. Like, I'll take it. And if you don't like the sister that was someone else's kid and you don't want to give him money, like, you don't have to.
I feel like, why is this even him being an asshole at all? Maybe take it up with the grandparents, like the parents and the grandparents have to discuss this. It's not something that the kid's doing anything wrong with, right? He's wanting to reconnect with family. I think that's like a great thing. Why are you gonna, make it so that he's not allowed to talk to their parent? That's really sad, I feel like. The problem is with the parents and the grandparents, and he has nothing to do with that. And he's allowed to take the money. Grandparents gave him money. Why is this an issue? So I think not the asshole. All right, so that was it for the 3 Am I the Asshole stories. Very interesting stories where I was like, oh, it was really eye-opening. We did have one where we're like not completely sure, and I was a little bit like on the fence. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you agree, if you disagree. Subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified of our latest videos. See you guys in the next one.